have Boxcar Willie. He is famous worldwide. But did you know he has a son, a 25-year-old son, who's been performing with him for about 3 years on a stage show in Branson. And tonight, the son is making his television debut.
That's right. He's been doing a lot of road work with Dad, but tonight, I guess the pressure's on, huh?
Yeah.
He's a neat young man. Ladies and gentlemen, with the bad case of rambling in my shoes, Boxcar Willie and his son, Larry.
My daddy told me stories about the winos and the freight trains. Mama never wanted me to know that I had spent my younger days sleeping in a boxcar. Never wanted you to know that I was a hobo. Never wanted me to know he was a hobo. Now Mama was a Christian and she always read her Bible. Told me all the things that I shouldn't do. But you had railroad fever and gambling in your fingers and a bad case of rambling in your shoes. And a bad case of rambling in our shoes. So I caught a southern bound in Detroit City, and you rode it all the way to Baton Rouge. I met up with a man called Boxcar Willie, and you got your first taste of stew. I played every song of Jimmy Rogers, and we sang every one of old Hank's too. Now every time we hear that lonesome whistle, get a bad case of rambling in our shoe. Get a bad case of rambling in our shoe. So I caught a southern bound in Detroit City, and you rode it all the way to Baton Rouge. I met up with a man called Boxcar Willie, me, and you got your first taste of stew. So I played every song of Jimmy Rogers, and we sang every one of old Hank's too. Now every time we hear that lonesome whistle, get a bad case of rambling in our shoe. Get a bad case of rambling in our shoe.
Well,
Hey, Box, good to see
Hello, beautiful.
you. Howdy do. Larry,
He
so
was,
nice to meet you. Have a seat over here by Dad.
Thanks, lovely. You know, this train whistle business, he was pretty strong over there,
He's
Box.
pretty good.
Every time he does that train whistle out on the stage with me, I feel like an old Model T being carted off to the junkyard.
Well,
He's
Larry,
pretty strong.
we're not surprised that you know how to do the train whistle. When did you learn it?
I've been doing that ever since I was about 2.
2 years old.
He was a little bitty fella. He'd run around the house, you know, mimic Dad.
And you just picked it up immediately? I've been trying to do it for years, and I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember being taught how to do it.
You just
I just
picked it
know
up?
that I picked it up
Now,
one day.
for those at home wondering how to recreate this train whistle business, now what is it? You dry your throat or what?
It's a gargle.
It's a gargle?
A gargle. See, when I was young, you know, if you had a sore throat, they made you gargle with salt water.
Right.
But growing up in Texas, we didn't have no water, so... and we was too poor to buy salt, so I had to learn the old dry gall. You just go...
You make it look
Nothing
easy.
good.
Yeah.
Good to see you back
do it.
on the show again.
Well, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I'm glad to be back. And this is your television debut, Larry.
Yes, it is.
And how you feel about it?
I'm ready to have a heart attack and pass out.
Are you? No, okay, no. You've been touring with your dad and performing on stage with him for 3 years. So how is this different from doing that?
Well, this is the first time I've ever been on national television.
The camera's annoying a little bit, and
Yeah, knowing that there's millions of people out there that they
Yeah.
can see me and I can't see them.
but you know the good thing about this, you're single, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Millions of women are watching you
I
right
hope so.
now.
I hope so. 'Cause
I hope so, too.
Well, yeah, we will point out that, yes, we do have that 800 number coming up in just a few minutes. So it's kind of like a shopping thing
I'll
here.
even give my home number.
Yeah, I know you would, yeah.
So, Daddy, you want this one married off right away, huh?
No,
Trying
no.
to throw him out? No. Hey, we've got to talk about the songbooks here. You have, 3 different volumes here?
There's 3 different volumes.
Yeah,
of the song.
here is volume 1. And here's volume 2. And something different, there's volume 3. You got the same look on all 3 of them here,
We
Bob.
did. Well,
Yeah.
I put the same look on all 3 of them. It's cheaper to print that way.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, especially when you've got a son, who's 25, not
Right.
married yet, you got to cut corners, what I'm saying here. No, but these are all songs that you have written, is that right?
I wrote every one of these songs, and I've always, ever since the first time I looked at a Roy Acuff songbook, that Acuff Rose used to put out, I've always wanted to say someday I'm going to have a songbook, and so I just decided to put out all the songs that I wrote into, sheet music so people could play along with me if they want to.
Yeah, we'll tell folks how to get them in just a minute. Also,
Certainly.
backstage, you were telling me that you are probably Hank Williams' biggest fan, Hank Sr.
I would say so. I don't know of anybody any bigger than that.
And tell the folks what you told me, what you can do.
Well, every night on the show, I ask them, we got any Hank Williams fans? Of course, everybody's a Hank Williams fan. I say, okay, give me a Hank Williams. It don't make any difference which one you do. I'm going to do it for you.
You know every Hank Williams
Hank
song.
Williams song.
How many
there is.
are there, do you know?
There's about 120, counting the Luke the Drifter songs.
Really?
Yeah.
And any one of them.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is. Larry, who's your big influence? His is, of course, Hank Williams.
mine is Elvis.
Elvis Presley,
Got
as
the
you see
Elvis
all the
tie
time.
on.
Got the Elvis tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you like touring with your dad, or you think someday you may break off and go solo?
I hope to go solo. I've been touring with him for the last 12 years, selling merchandise, and then I was his road manager. So I know quite a bit about the business and being on the road a lot, and I like that. So I
He
hope
was
to.
12, 13 years old, and we'd go into places and play, and he'd go collect the money for me,
Really?
Yeah. He was a whiz.
He's a good man to have
He's a
around.
good man to have around.
One other thing I want to bring up quickly, because I don't think we've talked about this. You have a big hobby of metal detecting. Use a metal
Yes,
detector?
that's right.
What do you search for primarily? Like
Coins.
Civil War?
Coins.
things? Coins?
Just coins. I do some relic hunting, but most of it's just for coins.
What'd you find? What's the oldest coin you found?
1867 penny and a 1805 nickel.
Wow. And you can still read the dates on them?
Oh yeah.
How deep were they
nickel's,
buried?
Nickel's almost perfect condition.
How deep?
The nickel was about 6 inches deep. The 1860, 4 or 5 penny, I've got several of them, dates in 1860. They were about 6 inches deep.
Right.
That's about the
fascinating.
size of a silver dollar.
How about that?
And what's your hobby, Larry?
My hobby.
Girls.
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 Is that hobby, Larry? Girls?
My biggest hobby, I think, is martial arts.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you could break Charlie's neck if I wanted you to?
Well,
When I ask him to
think he
do
wants to
something,
be
I say,
back.
please.
Yeah. I think he wants to be back on the show, so no, I don't think we'll do any
We'll have
vertebrae
music from
smashing
these two
here.
later in the show. Boxcar Willie, his son Larry, you did a good job on your TV debut. They'll be back a little bit later on.
You bet.
Yes, they will.
All right, coming up next, we have Canada's female vocalist of the year, Patricia Conroy. First of all, tonight's show is brought to you by Birdseye.
The fresh look for vegetables.